Yeah, my name is Julia Meckael-Jennings. I'm the Senior Wellbeing Lead at PFAS. We've collated some data from our colleagues, as other organizations do, and we identified a trend that our colleagues repeatedly said that they're struggling with financial well-being. And after conversations with the senior leadership team, we realized that it doesn't always mean a higher salary. Of course, that could be one of the solutions, but after speaking to various other providers and really scanned the market and understood about what is out there, we realized that the best solution would be resources, coaching, and webinars. And it's been absolutely brilliant since. Didn't know kind of what to look out for because we already have a pension plan, and initially we thought maybe we need some financial advice, and perhaps to engage our pension provider. And it can be quite overwhelming when you lead well-being in an organization because you're not sure what's going to be the right solution for your organization, and also how your colleagues will engage with with the provider, and also the return on investment that you have to then evidence with your senior leaders. Didn't What I loved about the kickoff session was, firstly, the trainers were so engaging, really smiley, really positive about a very sensitive subject. And also, it wasn't a death by PowerPoint kind of slide. I really loved, I think you used Menti, where people could really engage, but it was anonymous responses, and it really got people to think about their own kind of money habits in a safe space. And it was great to bring the subject of money into a workplace in such a gentle way, because it's very hard to kind of establish how you bring that subject without triggering a lot of people. It felt very supportive. And I really enjoyed that kickoff session, and it was really helpful for everybody. It was really practical because it gave different colleagues an option to think about where they are at in their stage of their financial well-being journey. And also, one individual might need, one-to-one support, or someone else might just want the resources and read them themselves, and another person might just want the content. And it was really interesting to establish the different kind of categories our colleagues selected. Some people were kind of going paycheck to paycheck, and others were saving every month, but still feeling like money is tight, and some were actively investing and planning for retirement. So it was very interesting to see the different kind of levels our colleagues are at, but also very practical in the way that there was calls to action, and our colleagues were able to either follow up one-to-one with a FinWELL coach, or sign up to other subjects that they might be interested in, such as specifically men and mental health and finances, or neurodiversity, or menopause. And those are subjects that I've never been familiar with in the context of financial well-being. So it's very interesting to have seen that, and also the kind of topics our colleagues will want to engage with. And that showed us more data for us internally to determine the well-being strategy as well. We found that the tools are very inclusive at FinWell, being able to use your own financial well-being score. I can't remember what you called it, FinWell money score exercise. And it's much like losing weight, right? You have to kind of know where your starting point is. And I think it's kind of knowing your numbers, and it helps everybody at every level to realize whether they're overestimating or underestimating their own relationship to financial well-being. And I think it can be so overwhelming out there to know where to start. And that exercise has been very helpful for our colleagues to determine what is the starting point, because you could be doing everything, but you shouldn't do everything at the same time. And it was very kind of practical to help them with a starting point, but also with a follow-up that they can have the one-to-one support if they need that guidance and further support as well. Yeah, so the engagement session that we've had with the FinWell team has been really helpful to drill down on our levels of engagement, but really understand what type of impact we've had, the return on investment. And for example, the one-to-one coaching, what has the feedback been? What are the strengths and weaknesses in our workforce? what kind of topics have been engaged with in terms of webinars, how many people have signed up to the webinars, what topics people are interested in, and really understanding next steps. So the FinWELL team has been very tailored with us to tell us and coach us in terms of what could be the next steps and any other topics. They worked with us to identify any topics that we'd be interested in, which has been really great in that co-creation. And so I've really found it very helpful to understand what are our colleagues interested in, what is our return on investment. And whenever you bring in a provider, you really need them to help you measure that return on investment because we find it very hard to do that for ourselves. We're really relying on your data to help us. And yeah, we're very happy that we've had very detailed feedback from the FinWELL team. It's really exciting to see that the FinWELL team have got more plans for helping the next generation with money goals, financial understanding, and financial literacy. And we know that these things don't get taught in schools. And it's very exciting to learn about their kind of work with apprenticeships and young people. And this is something we definitely want to get on board with. It's part of our social value as well. So partnering with FinWELL is very great for our social value commitments that we can evidence. And I think it's very important for the young people and the generations to come to learn those skills as early as possible. I've been really excited to try the new 24/7 Money Coach by FinWELL. I'm really finding that the FinWELL team are very revolutionary in their ideas and they are always advanced and thinking about the next steps. And as someone who's very resistant to AI, I've really welcomed that idea. And by trying it, I found that it's been really tailored to me, and it removes the barrier about, opening subjects with people that you might not be ready for. If you might not sometimes want to speak to a human about specific sensitive subjects. And I found it very, very helpful because I was able to write down my question and I got the response that I needed. And if I'm honest, I wouldn't have felt comfortable to ask that question to a human. And I think a lot of colleagues might be in that stage where they want the answers, but they might not be comfortable to attend a webinar or might not have the time or be comfortable to speak to a coach around that subject. And it just has that starting point. I think it's great that it's a bit like an EAP service as well. You can access it at any time as and when you need it. You don't have to arrange it in advance. And I think that's a lot more modern as well, as we know people are very busy these days. I've been really enjoyed working with FinWELL. They are such a person-centered company and you can really feel the passion with every person that works for FinWELL. I've had personal experience with John. I've attended one-to-one coaching. He's been super helpful. He not only covered one subject, but 5 subjects in one session. It was super efficient and he gave me lots of resources that, about 1 year later, I can really say thanks to his help, I've been in a better financial position. I've made better decisions. And, the FinWELL team, they provide you the most amazing visuals. We don't have to do anything. They're very responsive as well. You don't have to chase them. They always, think ahead. They send you a calendar of events in advance. They send you the meetings, and it's really great to work with them. They're very reliable, and we're very grateful for that partnership, and may it continue. We've